To wake up every morning tired, not really in the best shape, thinking how you're not in the mood for anything, completely out of motivation? Well, if that's your answer, stay with me till the end of this video to find out some secrets on how to prevent, but also how to go through burnout, how to make it easier. My name is Raseljka and I'm anxiety and burnout prevention coach. And in this video, I will try to help you really overcome some issues that people who are going through burnout go through, but also to see how to prevent it. Because we already know, prevention is always the best thing and the key to happy life. I went through a burnout myself 10 years ago. It was really bad, I didn't know I have it. I wasn't really aware of what's going on with my body because after 10 years of very intense growth of my career, I was completely focused on business. I had my own company that I opened at the age of 21, and in the beginning of my 30s, suddenly everything started to kind of fall apart. I wasn't me anymore. I didn't feel well. I was constantly fatigued. I couldn't sleep. If I would be sleeping 10 hours per day, it wouldn't be enough. I was stressed out. I was overthinking so much. I was worrying 24/7 about things that didn't even exist. And then I realized that behind my whole burnout was a huge amount of anxiety that I wasn't aware of. And definitely, I had a phase that I would be sick, like flu symptoms, sick for 3 weeks. Then for 3 weeks I would be fine. Then again, 3 weeks sick, 3 weeks fine. And that's how my whole year went on. I went to the allopathic doctors. Nobody could know what's happening with me. All the tests came back negative. So nothing was technically wrong with me. But I wasn't right. I wasn't feeling right. I wasn't good. And that is the worst and the most serious thing that's going on with the burnout. You don't really know you have it. And unfortunately, modern medicine, allopathic medicine, still doesn't have a burnout as a diagnose. And it should be, because it's a modern flag of 21st century, and a lot of people, especially professionals, even stay-at-home moms, people who are overdoing something or giving themselves 200%, unfortunately, very often they end up burned out. So how do you recognize burnout? It is a really difficult thing to recognize. When I'm saying burnout is a very serious condition. It doesn't mean that you are tired for 3 days and then you need just a bit of a weekend or longer weekend to get back to yourself or become healthy again. It is a constant feeling of being tired, completely lacking motivation, procrastinating everything, worrying, stressing out, being anxious, being depressed. You already start having physical symptoms in your body like chronic back pain, chronic headache, stomach issues. Stomach issues are very often a very good symptom of burnout, because stomach and this area of solar plexus in our life is always reacting when we have some identity issues, when we are afraid of something, when we have issue with our self-confidence or self-esteem. So when you have that kind of issues, this area will always react. And during the burnout, there is always some hidden scare and fear inside of you, but there is also a lot of identity issues, because in most of the cases, burnout happens because you're either unhappy with what you're doing, you're unhappy with your private life, or everything that's going on became just too much. So definitely it's a matter of your identity at the moment. So how to deal with it when it happens? First of all, is to actually recognize it, because nobody will tell you, when they see you or when you do tests, you have a burnout, because it doesn't exist as a diagnose. But what you can do is basically follow your body, listen to your body. When you realize that there is a lot of tiredness that's kind of chronic, like constantly for months you feel fatigue, then check for your adrenal gland. Check what's going on with cortisol and adrenaline levels. Because most of the people who burn out, it started with a lot of adrenaline, with a lot of cortisol going on. And what happens in that moment when you are lifting your adrenaline and stress hormones in general, what happens is that your immune system goes down. You suppress your immune system. When you are suppressing your immune system, obviously you're very open to different bacteria, viruses, disease, whatever you want to, what you name it, you can get it. And the fact is, when your stress hormones are very high, this goes down. So you come to the moment when you kind of calm down, you're not so stressed anymore, or you just decide that you cannot do it anymore, or you take a weekend off thinking that it will help you. But what happens then is, because you had a lot of stress hormones lifting you and holding you above the water, when you calm down and those stress hormones are down as well, because you're resting now, you don't need them at the moment, then this immune system becomes even more fragile. And then what happens, I'm sure you've seen that before, you go for a nice weekend with your family or friends or alone, it doesn't matter, and you get sick. You get fever, you start shaking, you get, flu symptoms. And that's because there is no stress hormones who are holding you above the water, lifting you up and, giving you this strength or fake strength, but the immune system is down. So it is very, very important to keep your immune system up all the time, especially if you're under the stress, because stress hormones will most definitely suppress your immune system. When your immune system is down, then you know that it's not only flu that's a possibility, but also all other things. When people are overly stressed, they are usually over worrying, overthinking, even angry most probably, not resting enough, not sleeping enough. Very often there is insomnia involved in burnout. I had one, I couldn't sleep at all. So that's the moment when you have to stop. If you have any of those symptoms, you really have to stop and ask yourself, excuse me, what is it that I want at this moment? How do I want to continue my life? Is it living like this? Is it being completely stressed out? Or do I maybe want to change something? Because it's all about our energy. If our energy is not aligned with what we do, if we are not happy with what we are doing, our body cannot follow. Our body will not follow. Our body is, it's product of our thoughts, it's product of our emotions. And if we are not aligned with ourselves in the full body, in all of our bodies, in emotional body, in mental body, in spiritual body, in energetic body, but also physical body, there will be some sort of disbalance. So are you at the moment happy with your career? Are you happy with your personal life? Are you happy with your relationship? Are you happy single? Are you happy with the amount of fun you have? Are you happy with how you look? Are you happy how much you exercise or give yourself or take care of yourself? Those are the questions that seems very difficult, but on the other side very plain, because it's kind of common sense. We all want to be happy, but very often we forget to ask ourselves those questions, and we just go on autopilot. We wake up, we go to work, we come home, we're with our partner or alone, it doesn't matter, just every day the same. The most dangerous thing for our mind and for our change and for our personal growth is getting into the routine. A lot of people will tell you that routine is amazing because then you are disciplined, you have things you're doing, you know how your day looks like. The problem with routine is that you have trained your brain, your neurosynapses, into the same thing all of the time. When you do that, there is no place for improvement. There is no place to learn new things. So if you want to change your behavior, if you want to change the way you react on things, if you want to change how you feel, you definitely need to change your routine. So start with that. That's one very good example on how to help yourself if you feel burned out. Start changing things. Don't do things every day the same, because that's also kind of boring, and our brain likes playing, our mind likes getting some new things, learning some new things. And if you're not creating new neurosynapses, and they are created when we learn something new or do something differently, then you will never move from the same position where you are right now. Sounds a lot. And you know, as much as burnout can look very simple, it can look very easy to heal. I must tell you that it took me 2 years to come back to myself and to be able to really 100% work again. One of the reasons why it's very difficult to come back from when you're already burned out is because you lose motivation. The intrinsic motivation, the one that's driver, the one that's, you know, making you wake up every morning, doing things, going somewhere, that intrinsic motivation is gone. Intrinsic motivation is one of the most important things we have in life. It's the force that pushes us to create things, to do things, that's the thing that, you know, when you set your goal, and then this intrinsic motivation activates. It's always good to have some extrinsic, external motivation as well, because it's kind of like, you know, balancing, and, you know, you have some accountability from the outside. But if you don't have this serious intrinsic motivation from the inside, there is no way you would do something, because there must be some reason why you want to do some things. When you are burned out, that's gone. There is no force, there is nothing that will push you to go further, to wake up every morning and to feel happy about it. Because the point is not only to show up, the point is also, when you show up, to be able to give, to be able to receive, to be happy, to do something smart with it, you know, with your ability to be there. So when you feel like you've lost your intrinsic motivation, then it's also one of the signs of really serious burnout. Criticizing everyone. People who are burned out tend to become grumpy, criticizing everything, very angry, because they feel there is something going on, but they don't know what. Nobody knows what. And unless you're really ready to dig deeper inside, you cannot realize what's going on with you. I'm telling you, I went to doctors for almost a year and a half. Nobody knew what's going on with me, until some amazing immunologist told me, like, you know, we don't have answers for you. Why don't you go to alternative? Start meditation. Start seeing people who do energy work. Start seeing people who are healers. Because obviously we cannot help you, because it's in your mind, it's in your emotional world. It's not something physical. Then the next symptom of burnout is definitely you start having some physical reactions. For some people it's chronic headache, migraines might appear. For some people it's stomach issues. So let me briefly explain you what happens in your body when your energies are not aligned. So each organ in our body has a certain frequency. Nature has a certain frequency, brain has a certain frequency. And when there is this balance is in this frequency, and frequency is not aligned with that organ anymore, that's when the disease shows up, or any sort of, you know, something going on, not necessarily the serious diagnose, but some sort of disbalance in your body. When we are facing burnout, we are basically going through disbalance in whole of our body, but the question is, what is your weakest link or weakest spot in your body that will make your organs, certain organs, react differently? So usually we can go through our chakras. Chakras is 7 energy points on our body. One is on the crown, on top of our head. One is so-called third eye between our eyebrows. One is throat chakra, heart chakra, stomach, under your K-drip, guts, and hips or space between your legs. Those are the energy points, 7 chakras. When we have issue with our headache or migraines, this is usually showing that our 7th crown chakra is not aligned, which means that we are not in balance with our higher self, with our true inner desires, with our soul. What do we really want? We are escaping from something when we have headache. We are not trying to face our reality because we don't like what we see. And the headache is very often a sign of that. And of course, I'm talking about something that's more constant. I'm not saying if you have headache once in a month, that doesn't have to mean that. It might, but it doesn't have to. But if you have it like all the time, then it's definitely something to check. Besides going to doctor, of course, that's always the thing, first thing. Then you have the space between your eyes, third eye. That's the center of intuition. If you feel like your eyes are in pain, suddenly you have, different, you don't see well on one eye or something, you have issue with your upper sinuses and this part, then definitely it shows that you are not listening to yourself. This is the center of intuition. So if you are not listening yourself, it means that your energy here is not working well, that you have some sort of blockages, or it's overworking. You're doing it too much. It goes for all of our energy points. When you have issue with throat, meaning you have very often inflammations, thyroid issue, back neck issue, then it means that you are having issue with communication. This is our communication tool. This is our communication center. And if you are not communicating well, or you look like you're swallowing something all the time, like, you cannot swallow things, it means that you are not saying how you feel. Emotionally, mentally, doesn't matter. In most of the cases, it's connected that you are not expressing your emotions, not talking about them. Not even to yourself, to your partners, to your co-workers, to your boss, to people you work with or your friends, it doesn't matter. But if you have issue with thyroid, which is very often one of the high stress reactions, there is a thyroid issue, it means that you're not saying what you mean. So one of the remedies for healing your burnout, if you have issue with thyroid, is speak up. Tell someone to F off. Tell someone to go away, to move away from you. Tell someone how you feel. And also singing. Sing. Singing is an amazing tool for your throat, for your thyroid to go into the balance. Singing is definitely one of the ways that you can do and heal a lot of things, because besides healing your communication machine, your throat, it also plays with your brain in a good way. It's, promotes release of neurotransmitters that are responsible for good mood, for happiness, for joyful feelings. So singing and music is definitely something you want to try as a remedy. The next point, it's here, it's your throat, it's your heart chakra. It's, of course, it's center of emotions. So if you have issues with your lungs, heavy breathing, asthma, heart disease, high blood pressure, or anything cardiovascular, it means that you are blocked on your heart chakra. And I think you already know what it means. It means that you're emotionally closed, you're not showing your emotions, you're not expressing your emotions, you're not living life full of love towards yourself or someone else. You don't know how to receive love. You don't have enough of hugs and kisses in your life. You don't have enough of intimacy. By intimacy, I don't mean sex. I mean intimacy with another person. And this is one very important energy point, because a lot of people are blocked here, and that's one of the reasons why cardiovascular diseases are the most lethal things in the US and the whole world. Most of the people die from cardiovascular disease because they're not able to open up their heart chakra, open up your emotions. I know it's hard, I know it's not super, okay, I'll do it, but you have to do it, because if you don't, you will not live a happy life, you will not live a fulfilled life. So open your heart, you can do it. The next one is solar plexus, right below the cage rib and above your belly. This is one interesting center. This is the solar plexus, is the part of the body that divides our lower chakras, first and second and third, from 4, 5, 6, and 7. Why is this the kind of, divider? Because those lower chakras are responsible for basic stuff, for our survival. And upper are a bit, higher, our higher self, our emotions, our spirituality, our intuition. So this solar plexus is, if that side of part of your body is blocked, most of the parts above will be blocked as well. Solar plexus is the place of where you put in all of your fears, all of your insecurities, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-respect, lack of self-love, identity issues. If you are very often in a burnout or an anxiety disorder, if you're not aware what's going on with you, you don't know what you want to do next in life, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, what's next. No motivation, this is center of motivation. So if you're blocked here, you most probably have issues with your pancreas, pre-diabetic, insulin resistance, diabetes, liver issues, fat liver, stomach, of course, gallbladder stones. That's the area. That's the center of fear. Fear is one very strong negative emotion that's very difficult to control because it's very subconscious, but if you don't control it or if you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. So you're going to have issues in all this area and you will be scared without even knowing it. You cannot live your life afraid that something bad will happen. You cannot live your life in fear, because if you're living in fear, you're not living in gratitude. If you're living in fear, you're not living in faith. You're not trusting yourself, universe, or whoever you want to call, that things are going to be okay, that you're on the right path, even if you don't know you are, but you feel it from the inside. Then the area below your belly, it's second chakra, it's your guts, your reproductive organs. That's the area of sexual energy, of course. Very important one, because sexual energy is second strongest, or let's say along together with money, the strongest energy in the world. That's the energy that's creative, strong, the one that builds us up. And if you're blocked in this area, you will have issue with your guts, you will have diarrheas, you will have constant cramps, you will have issue with, if you're a woman, you will have issue with your ovaries, womb, different kind of stuff going on. Very often women have, if they're not capable to accept their femininity, their feminine energy, and being happy that they're a woman, very subconsciously programmed, they're having issue in their reproductive organs, very painful periods and very uncomfortable, feminine stuff going on. This is also center of creativity. So if you are doing something creative, if you are watching something creative, even going to the nature as a feminine principle, you will definitely feel better in this area. Also, fear of not having money, fear of not being safe or secured is grounded in this energy point as well. So if you're not earning enough money and you're kind of scared what's tomorrow brings, most probably you will have some issues in this area. Then the first chakra, it's the space around your hips or between your legs, is the center of grounding. When you are grounded, like present, standing still in your time and moment, then this chakra is in balance. When it's out of balance, you are flying high, you are completely lost, you don't know what's your next step in life as well. You're not willing to make your next step in life. And it's also kind of related to money as well, as safety, security, and feeling protected. So if you can find some of problems in any of your energy points, then it's time to start thinking about how to heal yourself holistically, in sense of, if you are going through burnout or you can feel that it's coming, then check your body, check what's going on with your body, and try to find the best way to find where is the source of your anxiety, burnout, where does it hit you? Where is the weak point in your body? Is it head? Is it your heart, your cardiovascular system? Is it your guts, your legs? Maybe you hurt yourself a lot, like you fall all the time, or you twist your ankles or something. That's also a very subconscious sign of something being in disbalance in your body and your mind as well. So what's some other symptom of having a burnout? Fatigue, chronic fatigue, not being able to sleep, being extremely tired all the time, but you're kind of sleeping. But there are the moments when you will be able to fall asleep at 9 p.m., but you will wake up at 3 a.m. and then won't be able to sleep anymore. And you are so tired that you are willing to sleep, until noon, but there is no way that you will fall asleep again. Then you will struggle until 7, because who would wake up at 3 a.m. for no reason? And you wake up and you feel even worse. You are completely tired, or even worst case scenario, you are sleeping from 9 p.m. till 9 a.m. You wake up, you're completely dead. That happens when our serotonin and some other neurotransmitters level are not right. That happens when our dopamine is low, when we are not having oxytocin in our body. And the best way to have a normal sleep and to try to release your stress is, of course, meditation. It takes some time to train your body to meditate all the time, but it can be done. For sure, when you start meditating, it's enough to do it 15 or 20 minutes twice per day, just some simple guided meditation that will help you release the stress, because our body is like a bottle of Coca-Cola. You shake it and then there is a lot of air. You feel like everything will explode if you start opening, and then you open it like immediately and everything blows out. You explode. When you open it slowly, the air slowly goes out, and then in the end you open it and all is good. The same thing is with our body. If we are overly stressed and we start doing something like suddenly, immediately, fast, there is no fast fix. If you don't do anything, or if there is a fast fix, you will explode. So you have to heal your burnout and anxiety slowly, day by day. You need to be patient with yourself. You didn't get yourself into that condition in a day. You cannot get better in a day. So meditation is definitely one of the best ways to heal your insomnia, anxiety, burnout. Twice per day, 20 minutes for the beginning. When you grow, when you feel that you can do more, you go and do more. You go into deeper meditation that are not only relaxing, but also neuroscientific meditations that are kind of changing your habits, behaviors, the way you think, the way you feel. Then the second thing to do if you are having sleeping issues is definitely exercise. Exercise does well to your body, not only physically but also to your brain, to your neurotransmitters, to your brain chemistry, and that goes all the way to your body. So try exercising and meditation as the beginning. There's a lot of people who are, pro for melatonin. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. Melatonin is something that messes up with your neurotransmitters, messes up with your brain. So if there is a necessity, or you're traveling or something, or you feel like you cannot do it anymore, take one, maybe 3 days in a row, but I wouldn't take it for a long time, because it will do quite the opposite thing, and it will make your brain get kind of addicted, and you won't be able to sleep without it anymore. You won't be able to create your own neurotransmitters without it anymore, and you don't want to do that to your body. You want to have a normal chemical function of your brain working. So let's focus now a bit on how to prevent a burnout. That is $1 million question, honestly, because we are all very individual. We are all very different. We have different levels of what we can take and how much stress we can take. But from my own experience and experience of thousands of people I worked in past 10 years as a coach, helping them overcome their burnout or anxiety or a lot of stress, is start being kind to yourself. I wouldn't say lower down your expectations, because that's not a correct way to do it. But start being kind to yourself. Treat yourself kind. Treat yourself with love. For some people, that means go to massage, go to spa, take a vacation, have a weekend off from the phone, digital detox. Don't answer your mails anytime, every time, all the time. Don't be available all the time. Unless you're a doctor, then you're supposed to be, but still you can find some moments for yourself, and you can still find some time to be focused only on yourself. Even if you have a family, even if you have a lot of kids, or just one kid that kind of needs you a lot, then you can still find at least half an hour a day for yourself. Do something nice for yourself. Reward yourself with some things. Buy yourself something nice, something that will feed your soul, something that you wouldn't do normally. Do some nice things for yourself. That's so important. We forget and neglect ourselves because we take our physical body and our mental health and our emotions for granted, because it's here. And then the problem appears when we realize that we have completely neglected ourselves. We can neglect ourselves physically, not exercising, mentally, not resting, or overthinking, emotionally, not giving ourselves or taking love from others what we need. And then we just wake up unhappy one day and wondering what's going on. Why are we unhappy? Why are we burned out? Why don't we like how we look? Because we didn't exercise, because we ate junk food, because we didn't treat our body, our temple, the way we should. We didn't treat our mental health the way we should. So start with taking care of yourself. The second step is definitely meditation. Meditation is scientifically proven technique, only 20 minutes per day, but I would say twice a day, can completely improve your health. Transcendental meditation, that is very specific. There has been scientific research proving that if you're doing it for 3 years, twice per day, 20 minutes, that you will slow down your aging for a few years, and that you will live 3 or 5 years longer. So if that is not proof enough that you should meditate, I don't know what else do you need. But the physical thing that you will feel right after you start meditation is this stress release, stress cleanse. Most of the time you will sense how you are relaxed, how you have cleaned out the stress, how you don't feel this weight on your back anymore, and you will start feeling better after a few days. Even if you feel like you cannot meditate, it's not for you, I don't have patience, I cannot do it, I cannot sit still for 20 minutes. Yes, you can. Trust me, if I did it, anyone can do it. I was the most restless, the like, woo, like crazy penguin. Nobody could put me to sit down and meditate. But then when I started doing it, I realized what it does to me. And when you get the proof and feel in your body how good it is, then you definitely start doing it. So find some meditation on YouTube. There is a bunch of them. Find something relaxing for you. Experiment, see what you like. I always like to suggest guiding meditations because they are kind of easier to follow and they will ground you and focus you to do what you're supposed to do. But for some people, even some only music works. Binaural beats, solfeggio music, you can find it on YouTube. Certain frequencies that are aligned with certain states of mind or diagnoses that can also help you heal and feel better and release and reduce stress. Then the next thing, definitely exercise. As much as it's like no-brainer, common sense, we all need to exercise. The reason why people who are in burnout should exercise, but not overdo it, but do it gently towards yourself, is because every day you want to have this healthy amount of neurotransmitters, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. You want all of them to flow normally through your body. And exercise is one, especially aerobic one, is one of the best ways for you to do it. Only 20-25 minutes per day would be enough. The next thing, food. Your diet is so important. You have read a lot about gut-brain connection, how gut is our second brain. And the reason why scientists say that is because one of the most important neurotransmitters, serotonin, that is one that's kind of related to our happiness, feel good, and overall gut health as well, is receiving the impulse from our brain to be created in our guts. So our guts is the place where serotonin is created. So if you want to be happy, feel fulfilled, being happy, not being depressed, not being anxious, not being nervous, then you need to eat healthy, because your guts need a healthy support to create neurotransmitters and some other hormones, and your overall hormonal system to be in balance. So eat healthy, don't eat junk food. I would say a lot of plant-based diet, a lot of green veggies, a lot of legumes if you like them, and those fibers who are supporting your guts to be healthy and grow a lot of healthy stuff inside. Next thing for the release and kind of letting go of your burnout and healing is find something creative to do. Do something that will make you feel fulfilled again, something that will bring back your motivation. It can be a hobby, it can be a sidekick, it can be something you do because it's just nice, you love doing it. You can draw, you can paint, you can make jewelry, you can gardening is amazing. Do something where you will have some sort of achievement, but it will be creative, and it will not necessarily be your work. It can be work as well, but not necessarily. And then the next step on what to do to prevent your burnout is definitely one so logical thing that I neglected so much. Don't sit in the office for 15 hours per day. There is nothing you can do if you're sitting 15 hours per day in the office. You are just giving yourself an illusion that you are productive, But nobody cannot be productive. Nobody can be productive 5 or 7 days in a row, 15 hours per day. It just doesn't work that way. Less is more. Why don't you create the environment where you can work 7, maybe less hours per day and do everything you would be doing for 15 hours by delegating, letting go of control. People who burn out are control freaks. I can statistically almost guarantee you that. So if you're willing to let go of your control, I am sure that you will be able not to work 15 hours per day. If you start trusting people around you who you have in your own team, then you will start having more time. Yes, they will make mistakes, but so do you. If you're working 15 hours per day, you make mistakes. And that's normal, and that's okay. So delegate your work to someone else. Find someone who can do the things that you don't have to do. Don't micromanage. Find something that is most important that you need to do, but everything else just give way to someone else. Because control is very, it doesn't exist. So whatever you think you're controlling, you're not. You think you're controlling the process, you're not. You think you're controlling the outcome, you're not. You think you're controlling the moon and the stars, you're not. You're not controlling anything. You're just controlling the time you're spending in your office or in front of the computer or working. And it doesn't bring you anything good. Even if you have a lot of money, your health doesn't have price. Your mental health doesn't have price. So whatever you do, however you choose to deal with your chronic fatigue, with your anxiety, with your burnout, think about that. Think about how your health doesn't have price, how your body doesn't have price. You cannot, nothing is not good enough for you, because if you're getting to the point that you're going to explode, then money won't help you. Money has no worth if you destroy your health. Yes, it will help you. It's better to have it than not to have it. But if you are completely burned out and not able to work, it will make you feel much worse, because from being in the office 15 hours or 10 hours and overworking yourself and not taking care of yourself, to not getting to a phase of not being able to do anything because you're so fatigued, so tired, and so frustrated, it will bring you depression and anxiety that you have never seen before. I'm telling you from my own experience. I'm telling you from the experience of people that I've been working for years now with. So be kind to yourself. Practice gratitude. Teach yourself how not to be harsh on yourself, how not to be self-criticizing. Calm down that negative self-talk. It doesn't give you anything. It's very exhausting and it's very unhealthy. So in this short video, I gave you really some of the tips how to prevent your burnout, but also how to deal with it if you get there. If you want to learn more, please visit my webpage www.personaltransformationlab.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Personal Transformation Lab. And there is a Facebook group called Become a Superhero of Your Own Life. That's the same name as my Anxiety Free Life program is called. So if you find some of these things interesting, or if you like my work, please follow me and comment below whatever you feel, or if you have any questions. And I'm looking forward to talk to you soon again.